Hello, everybody. Welcome to this month episode of Ask Us Anything. So as you know, here at Realty Group, our mission statement is to revolutionize the client's experience by inspiring real estate professionals to be great. Well, our guest today is definitely the epitome of that. Ryan O'Neill is very passionate about helping real estate professionals to be great, actually helping anybody. He's a good friend of mine. And along with Eric Momberg, they have built and run an amazing team over at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. So I'm very happy to have Ryan here today for you guys to ask us anything. I know, like me, Ryan doesn't like to talk about himself, but I'm going to make him tell you more about who Ryan is. If you don't already know who Ryan is, Ryan.
No, I'm excited to be here long. We've been longtime friends in the industry. I've known each other a very long time, back when Long used to sell a lot of Banco.
Yeah, 15 some years ago.
So we've known each other a really long time, been great friends over the years. Excited to be here today. I think this is an awesome series. It's a great way to provide value to agents, people in the industry looking to learn more, looking to do more business, looking to kind of weather this market. And we've seen a lot of markets.
Yeah, because we've been in this for a long time, right? You longer than me in the real estate space, 32 years for me, including my first 15 years on the mortgage side. So we've seen the cycle. It seemed to be like every 5 to 7 years, it got crazy. Well, up to about a year ago, Ryan, the market was really good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why everyone got in the industry, crushed it. And now the market adjusted. You and I have seen it. We think it's back to normal.
Yeah.
Because you actually have to do the work now.
Yeah.
And I think today I love to spend a lot of time on how to help our agents, really get more productive. And I think the biggest thing we always want to start with is their mindset.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter all the things we tell them to do. If they don't have the right mindset, they won't do any of it, right?
Right.
So because you and Eric run a very, successful team, we want to pick your brain today and find out some of the things that you can share with our audience to help them be better professionals in the real estate to service our clients.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, as you're watching this, wherever you are at in the real estate business, I've been in the industry since 2003. So over almost 20 years, I've seen a lot of different markets. Some very good markets, some very challenging markets. Sometimes we have. I remember a time we had 36,000 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. Right now, we've got under 6,000 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. I remember times when listings would sit 4, 5, 6 months at a time, and that was normal. And right now, of course, in our market, we're seeing things, sell pre-market. We're seeing things sell within a day or two. And so markets come and go, as we know, Long. But I think to your point about mindset, one thing that we talk a lot about is, what can we control as agents, as brokers, as people in life. And one thing that I always talk about is trying, at least as you're starting your day, trying to focus on what you can control. We can control our attitude that we bring each day. We can control our daily effort, and we can also control, how we treat other people. And I think this market, there's so much fear out there right now more than ever. People need us as agents, as consultants, to really guide them through this buying and selling process, because again, there's so much fear, and people, again, with these bank failures last week and all this stuff that we're seeing, people are like, what's going on out there? So more than ever, people need you as an agent, as a trusted professional, and again, focus on what you can control, block out all of the noise. So those are some of the things, at least initially, from a mindset standpoint, Long, we're trying to do.
Yeah, and you're so right, Ryan, because as real estate professionals, we are helping people one of the largest financial transactions in their lifetime, yet also the most complicated and complex. That's why our industry is one of the very last one. Tech hasn't come in over just take over, right? Right. They still need us, as you already alluded to be the leaders and a consultant to help them navigate through one of the most complex and more complicated transaction, because it's not just understanding the real estate process, but also locally. You got all the different rules and regulations depending on the city and the financing, and there's so much that goes into it. But you are also have pointed out already, and I'd like for you to spend a little more time on it.
Yeah.
You and I know a lot of successful people we get to hang out with and we get to learn from.
Yeah.
And it seems like all of them do have habits or routines.
Right.
Because I would say all my successful friends I know, they're boring. Why? Because they do the same thing over and over and over again, right?
Right.
And share with us some of the habits or routine you have as a person that you do every day that people can relate to.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a habit standpoint, your health is first and foremost. I think it's easy with this job to let it run you ragged. And you have to remember, there's always more time to sell real estate, but there's only one you. And so focus on your health. What are you eating every day? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you taking time personally for your hobbies, for things that you enjoy? It's hard to do anything work-wise when you don't feel well. And so for me, sleep is super important. Eating getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time within reason, is important. And I think, I think again, focusing on your health is one thing I just can't stress enough as agents, as salespeople.
Yep. Because
that routine is important. And so I think that's something from a routine standpoint that is important. One other thing I would say that you do a great job of is same day responses. A habit that I've always had is if somebody calls me, if somebody emails, a text message, sends a note, by responding in a timely manner back to that person, it shows a courtesy, shows you care, it shows you're paying attention. And remember, this job, in my opinion, is more than anything about people, about building relationships with others. It's not sales. We're not selling something. And through your communication, that is a habit long that it's easy for us to get overwhelmed. We get hit with 800 different things. Take it slowly. Go through returning your phone calls, text messages, emails. It shows you care, and it's a way to build relationships with people.
Yeah, that's a great advice, because we are in the people business, and you and I know that, right? Anyone who does real estate know we just happen to also facilitate a very complex real estate transaction, but it's still a people business, right? Because of that, it's so complex that people get scared. So when they send you a question, to us, it thinks it's not that big a deal. To them, it's a huge deal, right? They haven't heard back from you in a day or two,
right?
They're already losing trust in you, and,
right.
and you then as a leader, consultant, you failed at it. But what you touch on is also important about health, not just physical health, because you have to be physically eating well, sleeping well, right? Because you want to be there for when the client needs you. You don't want to be sick and out and not be able to help them.
Yeah.
But also mental health. I think that's one thing we don't talk enough about.
Yeah.
Because physical health, there's a way for us to do with it.
Yep.
Eat right, you said, sleep well, exercise, whatever. But the mental health, it's like a taboo. People don't talk a lot about, right? It's either you're mentally ill and you do something bad, or you're on drug and you hide from people.
Sure.
I think as leaders, you and I know you guys do it too, at Realty Group, we actually encourage an agent to come to us.
Yeah.
And it's more EQ stuff.
Yeah.
Like how to handle mentally on the other end, the other agent, who's also could be very frustrated, and they can ask you the question that you said respond same day, but also learning how to respond is also important, right?
Yeah.
For example, no inspection came back. There's 6 items here, deal killer.
Sure.
We're canceling. Guess what? You don't want to now reactively go, okay, whatever it is, go, hey, thank you, send me the inspection report or whatever item you having a problem with.
Yeah.
Let me talk to my buyers and I'll get back to you. Hold up, don't cancel yet.
Yeah.
Versus getting very reactive to go, screw you, fine, I'll go get another one. Or what do you mean, get reactive. So maybe talk more about the way that you communicate versus just communicating timely.
Yeah, it is. Communication's critical in the business. And I think, as salespeople, as competitive agents, you can be really passionate, and passion's good in many ways. But I think, as you know, working with other agents in our industry is critical, being a good partner with them. And I think sometimes, my dad would always say, when you're feeling upset or kind of heated, or you're having a difficult communication, sometimes stepping away a little bit, taking a little mental break, coming back to it. And oftentimes, again, one thing communication wise that my dad did a lot of is he would say something positive first in the communication, even if he didn't totally feel it, and then got into the heart of the matter. I think it's easy, for example, if you're arguing, going back and forth about a home inspection or whatever, you just immediately say why you're right and the other person's wrong, and you're going at each other, versus trying to relax, take the edge off, say something positive. Oftentimes that can take the edge off the communication. And again, as agents we're problem solvers. We are meant, the best agents, you all are problem solvers. There's always going to be issues. And I think, to your point about EQ, one thing I'd like to say is that, people are always, you're always going to have good people choose another agent. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's somebody really close to you that hired someone else. Having that EQ that you talk about, take the high road, wish them well. It's very hard. I've had friends, family members, good people that you think, hey, that they're going to work with you, and they choose someone else. That's hard as an agent, but it says more about us as people, how we react to it. And also, I've seen agents get a lot of referral business by taking the high road and just saying, hey, you know what? Congratulations on your home purchase. So that kind of with the EQ, some of the communication things, those are some things we're trying to do long.
Yeah, I think that's awesome advice. And I wish I knew that when I first started, because guess what? As real estate professional, we want to represent our clients, right?
Right.
And we want to win for them.
You want to go to bat?
Yeah, you want to go to bat and win for them. But what you don't realize is it's a partnership that he says.
Yeah.
In the real estate, this is the ecosystem. They say on an average, we as real estate professional help navigate our client through a relationship with 40 plus people who touches a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's an economic impact of about $83,000 in every real estate transaction? In there, you got your mortgage people commission,
right?
You got your real estate people commission, you got the title closer, right? You got the processor, the transaction coordinator, the stager, the inspector, the appraiser, the photographer. All these people you got to help navigate and hold this deal together.
Yeah,
it's one of the most stressful jobs, right? And we know that's why we get paid very well. But that's amazing. Think of it as a partnership. Let's find a way to win-win versus feel like you won for your client and we beat them up and we won. But I encourage you guys to all type in or ask questions you have, because we got Ryan here for the next 30 minutes to help answer. Here's a couple questions that just came in. One is, how can an agent make 2023 a positive and productive year? It's kind of a broad question.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that got in the business the last few years, right now in 2023, you're realizing this is a tougher job. This is a tougher business. This is not like it was in COVID. And so the first thing I would say is realize everybody else is experiencing the same thing. I mean, I think last week I looked at the numbers. We're down in the Twin Cities, 40% less pending sales year over year at this time. And so realize we're all in the same boat. And I think what I would say, Long, is that the kind of the low-hanging fruit during COVID, that is not there anymore. Interest rates have nearly doubled. We've got really tight inventory, and it's a tough business. And so I think the first thing I'd say is just remember, we're all in this together. But again, I've seen lots of markets over 20 years, and agents like Long and awesome folks who've succeeded no matter the market conditions. And so first of all, don't let the market conditions rain on your parade. You can succeed in this market just like any other market. But I think more than ever, Long, what I'm sensing and I'm seeing more of is that really this is a job. People that show up, that head into the office daily, that put forth an 8-hour workday, that are learning, that are doing their best to advocate for their clients, to build relationships, to just really show up like physically, literally, and mentally. Good things are happening. Even right now, we're seeing it with our team, where a lot of people are having, one of their best years. But because of the fear, it's hard to engage. And because that low-hanging fruit isn't there, now we're having to make a few more phone calls. We're having to do a few more coffee meetings. We're having to go on a few more appointments. And frankly, it's hard. I get it. It's hard. And I think the agents with really strong work ethics and a strong enough why, know your why. What gets you out of bed? Is it your family? Is it your kids? Do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to go on trips? Know your why. Have it in front of you. Have it on a board when you go into the office. Something that gets you up and going, because this job, you need that. There's going to be ups and downs, but if you take it one day at a time, slowly but surely, look at it like a marathon, good things are going to happen.
Yeah, you're totally right, Ryan. And you alluded to COVID time a few times.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something that no one can predict happen, and it happened, right? And I remember during that time, everyone panicked. Like, it's done. We have friends at different regions of the country, like in California, they completely shut down.
Right.
Minnesota, we were lucky enough that it was considered essential business, right? So we still get to conduct business.
Yeah.
But I remember during that time, Mike and I and our leadership team reached out to all of agents. I believe you and Eric did the same time, to let them know we can only control what we can control. You said that 2-3 times already.
Right.
And we said it's a people business. Guess what? This is your time to earn your credit. Call your database and check in with them, not to sell anything.
Right.
Are you doing okay?
Right.
What's going on? I mean, are you afraid? What's going on? And guess what? The connectivity rate actually went up 500% because people were home. They weren't working.
Right.
They actually picking up the phone.
Right.
And they're sick of talking to the kid all day. They actually want to have adult conversation. And what happened to those agents actually, without trying to sell anything, pick up business. My cousin was going to buy a house, but COVID hit. They don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Gonna have them call you. And also now business pick up, and what you said is important, is that what used to work for you 2 years ago may not work now. You need to go back and do certain things. Having more coffee meetings, do more open houses, all these other things, right? Which lead to, you talk about structure.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into real estate, and I remember interviewing a lot of agents, especially new agents that want to come into the industry.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you, we've been doing for 32 years, I want to pick your brain. I want to get into real estate, I say, why? It's flexible, I can make lots of money. I said, both are false. The average real estate agent make what, $8,000 a year or something like that?
Right.
Of course, you got your top producer
Right.
and your low one, right? And then time, it's not flexible. You work 25/8, not even 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Which is why time management is a whole different topic we can talk about for hours.
Yeah.
But what can you do to be successful? And Ryan, maybe touch on this a little bit.
Yeah.
The rate is up. You and I have been doing long enough to know it's not that high.
Right.
We've seen things average 8 to 10%, right?
Yeah.
5 to 6% is pretty good. It just compared to the 2 and 3%.
Yeah.
According to Federal Reserve, homeowners have 40 times the net worth than renters.
Yeah.
That's why owning a home is an American dream. With rates still being high, talk more about rent versus owning a home. And I know it's not right for everybody, but there's still a lot of advantages.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's just fear. It's a fear, as well as just not understanding the benefits of home ownership. And I think, try to look at yourself. One thing I did, the first few years in the business, not really knowing anything about real estate. But I think when I had done a little bit with investment property. So I had owned an investment property or two, and I started to kind of reach out to people to advocate with them on owning real estate and how they could do that. And I think through those meetings long with people and talking to them about investment property, it wasn't so much about, hey, you need to buy an investment property. Again, it's coaching, it's consulting, it's taking time, it's helping them. Maybe their credit's terrible, and you take time, you have a cup of coffee with them. This job can be hard, because for those of us that if you came from an industry where you feel like, okay, I put forth 2 hours of work and it's got to lead to X, This is a job that we know you can spend 100 hours with someone and you make no money. You can go do one open house and make $30,000.
So true.
So it's more about, again, that consistent daily activity that you're trying to do. But I think looking at yourself as a consultant, like with the first-time home buyer, owning versus renting, most people don't understand it. So taking time to have a cup of coffee with them, to talk through the process, but doing it in a way that's fun, that again, with today's technology I mean, it's amazing to me. Nobody gets together anymore.
I know.
I mean, I come from kind of a big Irish Catholic family, and we're all about getting together. And I think, again, in 2023, if your business is slower right now, look at your calendar this week and just say, who am I meeting with? It could be fellow agents at Realty Group. It could be outstanding mortgage professionals. It could be clients, friends, family, neighbors. Take time for people. Business flows. One thing that I've done, again, over the last 20 years, I have a cup of coffee, literally, probably every day with somebody. 1 hour, never much longer than an hour. And again, you may say, well, that's kind of old fashioned, or, what's that all about? But business flows, goodwill is created, relationships are built, referrals come up from it. It gets you out of the house with this job. You got to get out of the house. So 2 things, the coffee meeting and then the telephone. I think with today's technology, I love social media, love it, but don't rely just on social for your business. The good old fashioned telephone, meeting people in person is really what we're all about.
Yeah, and again, amazing advice. If you take just that one takeaway, I would recommend doing that, because we're in the people business, right? People work with people that like and trust.
Yeah.
How can they like and trust without having communication to build a relationship with you?
Right.
And the 7th level of communication, as you touch on, the number 1 on the top is in-person meeting, right?
Yeah.
And then the phone call is just not far below that, because you get the ability to interact versus a one way of social media or an email or what coming from you. But I will tell you this. Yes, on an average, people buy, sell home every 7 to 9 years. Don't be afraid to meet everybody, including your past clients, because guess what? On an average, also, people know 200 to 400 people,
right?
Which means their cousin, their coworker, somebody they know is looking to buy, sell a home. And after they talk to you, go, oh, by the way, my coworker is sitting next to me looking to buy a house. My cousin thinking about selling her home.
Yeah.
I'm going to connect you, okay?
Right.
You did not go into this meeting looking to sell anything.
Yeah.
You are checking on them, having a good conversation, reminding them of what you do, which lead to, that's a great advice.
Yes.
What's some other action items specifically that an agent should do every day, or add back into what they should be doing as a structured day to help them be more successful?
Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, again, I think know your personality, know your style, and what works best for you as an agent. I think the more that you're physically in front of someone through an open house, through a face-to-face coffee meeting. Again, I know a lot of people have interest in different types of lead platforms and actionable leads, through, picking up the telephone to prospect.
Yep.
Prospecting, again, it's, I think, don't view yourself as bothering people. You have to remember that consumers need you. From doing this for 20 years, I think the real estate transaction has become more complex, and more than ever, they need a trusted professional like you to guide them through the process. And so we're our own worst critic. Instead of picking the phone up to call our friends, family, neighbors, showing them, asking about them, showing you care, but then letting them know you're in real estate. They need a trusted professional. There's so many things that can go wrong in transactions. That's what I know you deal a lot with the brokerage. I deal with the team. So many things that can go wrong. And so just don't sell yourself short as agents, because you provide a wonderful service, needed more than ever, especially in down markets, tougher markets like this. People value the agent more. During COVID, when everything was selling super quick, the consumer values the agent less, commissions go down. What I'm seeing now in 2023, people value us more, commissions are going back up. They just want their home sold. They want a trusted professional. And so you got to believe in yourself. You need to have that belief that you provide a good service to others. And then in that case, you're not prospecting, you're not bothering people, you're not, and I think some people naturally have more confidence than others, but work on that, work on that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think what you touched on earlier, I'd like to deep dive a little bit more, is that what's some actionable item you can do, right? One thing I will tell you that is, it's been proven over and over again, but even more importantly, going forward, is that the team-rich model is the new way people become successful. Meaning, most agents should be with the team.
Sure.
Because the team provide all this other support, not just training, emotionally, right?
Yeah.
All this other thing. But a brokerage sometimes will fill that in. They become your team.
Sure.
Like that's how our model is. Mike and I, we have lots of team at Realty Group, but we also service the solo agent. Like we are their team.
Right.
I know you and Eric do amazing job at the team too.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of different resources. With the team, sometimes you might get that from your team. They spend all the money, the resources to help you prospect somebody versus, whereas you might be on your own, but not able to do it, which do what he says, go have coffee, reach out to people, your database SOI, but don't be afraid to also look into other lead sources. You want to diversify your leads, right?
Speaking of coffee though, you know what I love about this guy? He's got a McDonald's coffee here. How about that? A little cheers to you there, Long.
Yeah, I love value. They have great coffee for me. But for example, there are other lead sources out there. If your team you're not with a team that provide leads like you guys do. They're subscription based. You can buy your own zip code, right? Realtor.com, Zillow. But there are also success based. Many of them are again very popular. OpCity, Ojo, HomeLight, you name it, right? Make sure you check with your broker, your team leader. But there are opportunity for you to do that. I have one specific question, kind of off the cuff, but because we ask us anything, right? Is selling a pool property with snow on the ground leaving money on the table? How would you recommend if she was one of your agents?
Thank you, Lisa, for the question. I don't think the seller would be leaving money on the table, even if there is snow on the ground. I think pools are super in demand right now, especially during COVID. Everybody, loves the pool. It's funny, over the years, pools used to be kind of like dead weight. Oh, it's got a pool. But now people love pools. Pools are in. I don't think you're leaving money on the table at all. Personally, I think pools, people love them. They can envision envision their family, their kids in the pool. And with such low inventory, no left money, in my opinion.
And I think that's very important because studies have shown that our brain cannot tell the difference between visualization and actualization.
Sure.
So meaning that if you can help them visualize the pool. Hey, can you imagine July 4th having a party? The pool's all filled up, heated, everyone jumping in, swimming, right? Then the buyer will value the pool. Here's another question, kind of related to that. Okay, the market is adjusting.
Sure.
Is it the right time for me to buy another home? Or what if I can't sell my house before I find another home? What would you be recommendation to overcome that?
Yeah, overcoming the fear. I think you have to remember now with the Realtor Association and the new forms that we have now, that sellers can make their home sale contingent on them finding a home of their choice. And so it's kind of the chicken or the egg. What do we do? Well, in this market, 6,000 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. Rarely do people want to see a contingent offer. So oftentimes what we try to recommend is put the home on the market first. You can make it subject to the seller finding a suitable home of their choice. That allows the seller to write non-contingent or check the second box, make it a little stronger offer. And so part of it is, again, I think when you're talking to the seller, try to, is their family growing? Are they wanting to downsize? What's their why?
The motivation.
Yeah, because, everybody talks about timing. I'm not a big fan of timing when it comes to your own house. It's what works for you and your family. What's most important to you? Do you want to live on the lake? Do you want to live, downsize? I think getting to your client's why is more important, and that leads to transactions. And we're not selling, we're just listening to them versus, trying to say, hey, it's one of the best seller markets ever. You need to sell your home. I don't know. It's more long, consulting, and realizing in some cases to the question, some people are going to be fearful long.
That's right.
Hey, that's all right. You know what? Let's keep in touch. I'm here for you. You can't force people,
Yep. We got time for 2 more questions I see on here. I'm going to take a few other questions. Stay in that same fear space. My clients keep telling me the market's going to crash, so I shouldn't buy now. I should wait the sideline and buy later. Well, how would you talk to them about that? I know you touched on motivation from the seller side.
Yeah, the market is not going to crash. So again, I was in the market when it crashed in 2006, 7, and 8. It's funny, just the other night I was watching, I don't know what it was, cable, and it was talking about the crash of the real estate market. The reason the crash happened is because of the ability of everyone to get mortgages that shouldn't have gotten a mortgage. No money down, no credit, no anything, and they're buying multiple properties, investment properties. So here's the thing, right now, qualifying for a mortgage is as difficult as it's ever been. And so it's harder to qualify. You got to have a job, you got to have money. And then secondly, now homeowners have equity. So back in 2005, 6, nobody had equity. So of course they're going to walk away from their property. They're going to let the bank take it back. Now people have equity. So if they are going through a difficult time, if we do actually enter a recession, they're going to sell the property, and they're going to need somebody like you to sell the property. And so I think, again, I don't see any type of recession at all. The other thing is long in the Twin Cities job market. We have a super stable job market compared to other parts of the country. A lot of big Fortune 500 companies here in the Twin Cities. And we have to remember it's supply and demand. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
I think that question is an opportunity for you to lead them through the fear, right? And you're right. I mean, leading and lagging indicator, the reason you just keep sharing it, you saw what happened last time, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This time we're not seeing the same signal.
Right.
And you're right. I mean, there's an average of 12% in equity in America versus before, you're like right there. So when you drop below, you think, okay, the very last question before we wrap it up today is, can you clarify what's an unlicensed assistant can and cannot do? Because we see a lot of them out there, because there's a new rule from Minnesota that just came out, right? You have to be a licensed assistant to be able to do a process to file, do some of these other things. How have you guys adjusted, and can you help answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's happened is the trend of the transaction coordinators have become more prevalent, I would say. And so you see that with a lot of the transaction management companies doing paperwork, doing files specifically for the brokerage, for agents at the brokerage. And so, I know that we work with some great companies that help with this. But yeah, I mean, I think from from the Department of Commerce standpoint, obviously you've got to be licensed, showing homes, the writing of the contracts themselves. There's important things that we do as agents that they don't want unlicensed people doing. And so again, I think that's why a lot of these transaction management companies have popped up. Your thoughts, Lon?
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree, because it's one of the most complex and complicated transactions in real estate, right? And people don't realize that as agents, we are navigating our clients with us through a legal process and all those legal documentation. I bet you, we challenge the agent, 90% of them will fail on how to explain the contract correctly. And that's crazy, right? Because we don't have a license as an attorney to be advising them legally, but yet we are. Right. So now you want to go down to the next level, transaction coordinator, who's just helping you process the file. They're not even licensed, they're going. So I think this is kind of a good thing anyway. And I think agents sometimes just get too lazy.
Hey, I got a question for you. Yeah. I got a question for Long. Okay. What do you think are the most important qualities for an agent to be successful, or how can an agent be successful right now, March 2023? What do you think?
Work hard. You already said it.
So work.
Go back to hard work, because nothing replaces hard work. Yes, luck sometimes comes into play for success.
Yeah.
but hard work always comes into play, because without hard work, you will not succeed.
Yeah.
Period, right? So go back to doing hard work, which is me selfishly. I have a couple of questions I left off because, you know, well, I want to be done, but those other questions is,
Yeah.
tell your agent at your company, Remax Advantage Plus, Realty Group, all the real estate professionals out there to think, give me what a perfect daily schedule should look like for someone to follow to be successful in this market.
Yeah. So I think you should get up about 10:30 or so, 11. No, I'm kidding.
I'm writing down. Whatever you tell me, I'm taking notes.
You know your body schedule. Okay. We have some people on our team that get up at the crack of dawn. So know your rhythm, know your schedule. Are you a super early morning person, or are you a little bit more of a night person? I think starting and ending your day at the same time is super important. Okay. Taking time for your mental health, for spirituality, for your faith, beginning your day in a good, positive headspace is very important. Exercise. They've done so many studies about the importance of something, exercise, to get you in a good zone. And then, when you're actually starting your day, it's saying, what are the most important things I should be doing every day? Prospecting. So spending time prospecting by phone, by text, by video. People love video now. Reaching out, friends, family, neighbors, sphere, leads, that type of thing. Taking time, obviously the day-to-day of the job with your listings, working with your buyers, answering questions. We find a lot of the showings, a lot of the listing appointments are afternoons, sometimes early evenings. But I'll tell you this, the best agents, some of the best agents I know in our industry, they don't work 24/7. In fact, a lot of them have on their voicemail, if you're calling me after 6 p.m., I'll return your call the following business morning. If you're calling me after 7 p.m. So don't feel like you need to be on always. Your best customers are going to understand that you have a life, you have family, you have kids. And at some point, it's a choice of them working with you, but you working with them as well. And so don't, remember that you have to take care of yourself first. Have that self-care, because if you do, good things happen. It allows you to help more people. And so I think from a day-to-day standpoint, look at putting forth an 8-hour day, a 9-hour day, a 10-hour day, whatever that number is, consistency over time. If I had to pick one quality of success, I would say it's consistency.
Yeah, totally agree. I hope you guys took notes on that, because I will say this is what I'm hearing. Okay. Know your day of the structure of the thing you should be doing to be successful.
Yeah.
Because you have to work hard at it. You're not going to show up nowadays and hope someone will call you and say, I want to list my house with you tomorrow.
Right.
And that's not happening. Right. So know your day, but more importantly, know your body at the time. There's actually a book that I read called Time. There's 3 types of people, Ryan. I love the 5 a.m. club. Yeah. Those are great people. That's not me. I'm not a morning person, right? Yeah. I'm actually more of an afternoon person. So there's an early riser, the midday, and the night owl. Yeah. I'm more the night owl. I actually get more things done at night because it's quiet, right? Especially when you have kids like me. When our kids are done, go to bed by 8, 9 o'clock, I get the most done between 8 to about 10. Right. So be aware of your time, so that now you can manage your time. If your day starts at 5 a.m., great. That's not me. You jokingly said that my day started at 10:30, right? Because then I work for the day later because I get more things done. But that's why it's so important for time management. But you said gratitude in the morning. So by the way, this is my routine. I actually start the day the night before. Okay, I always look at my calendar the night before. Yeah. And I call them, there's 3 ways we learn, by the way, as human. One is considered the easiest way to learn is by imitation. Yeah. If Long and Ryan figured it out, why reinvent the wheel? Just copy them. Sure. Right. In school, it's called cheating. In life, it's called sharing. Right. The second way to learn is considered the hardest is by experience. You actually have to do it yourself to learn. The school part not. Yeah. But the third way to learn is considered the most noble by reflection. So you take everything in that you copy somebody, you do through yourself, you watch somebody experience, and you reflect to see how it fits you. Yeah. Because what worked for Ryan may not work for Long and vice versa, right? Yeah. So that's my reflection time. My routine is every night before I go to bed, that's good. I look at my phone. Good. And my phone, Ryan, if it's not on my calendar, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you on my calendar, right? That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't make it on my time management, as you said, it
Yeah.
did not happen. You were my big rock today. These are the things I have to do today that you said, right? And then I look and I reflect.
Yeah.
You know, what else I could have done better with Ryan today?
Sure.
Because I'm trying to learn to grow, that growth mindset, right? My next meeting I might have with somebody, what else could I have said to help them more?
Yeah.
I reflect on it. And then I look at my next day calendar, I go, how can I be prepared?
Right.
And I get excited. I'm like, all right, that's going to be awesome. I have 6 appointments. I'm going to get to change somebody's life. I get to meet somebody and learn.
Yeah.
So I get excited. I'm thankful that I get to go to work versus I have to go to work.
One thing you can tell about Long is he's got passion and energy. And I think in your work day, bring some passion, bring some energy, have some fun. Life is tough. People like to work with people that are fun, that are enjoyable, that are going to laugh, that aren't all business and nonstop real estate. And so again, look at Long, look at what he's done from an energy standpoint, a passion standpoint. How can you bring that to your day, to your job? And I think when you do that, the money follows. The money absolutely follows. But one other quick thing, I know we're heading to the home stretch here, Long, but one other quick thing I wanted to mention to people is remember that, again, there are always going to be ups and downs with this business. And here in 2023 is no different. Realize that's just partly the business. But if you can get yourself juggling more clients, you know, instead of the one ball you're juggling 1, 2, 4, 8, 10, then you can weather that storm a little better. The way you get more balls juggling is effort, face-to-face meetings, prospecting, getting in front of people. And so again, the ups and downs are going to happen to everybody, any agents. But again, you can bring the passion, bring the energy, no matter any market, you're going to do well.
Yeah. And anyone else, any more questions? This is your last chance to ask. Otherwise, I got one last one I want you to possibly wrap up with, unless something slide in.
Sure.
Okay. So for me, what you said is important, like passion in the people business.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite quotes is from Les Brown, right? Help others achieve their dreams and you will achieve yours.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Just do what's best for the people and money will come.
Yeah.
Don't have commission breath.
Yeah.
People smell it a mile away, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest challenge for real estate agent that we hear over and over again, I bet you do too, and your team, is the real estate industry is so weird that you have the proactive item you need to do and the reactive item that seems to just eat up your time all the time.
Right.
So how do you prioritize and manage the two together on a daily basis?
You have to remember that not everything needs immediately to be done. Because of these things that we have now, we all feel like we need to respond instantly to everything. The reality of it is, don't be afraid to put your phone on silent and to focus on that important work that you need to do for the day. Instead of reacting to everything, you've got to have some time to do that important work, that proactive work. And I think, again, we can be hard on ourselves to say, oh my gosh, I need to respond instantly to this or this or this. I can think of one of my brothers. He gets a big kick out of the fact in real estate that we're all just like 911 if someone emails you or messages. And the reality of it in the business world, that isn't the way other industries work. I know we've got to move quickly, limited inventory, offers, you got to be on it, but you need to be able to do some of that proactive, important work without everything being bombarded by Facebook Messenger, by Instagram message. I mean, you could just be overloaded if you don't try to prioritize your day.
Yeah, so I want to thank you, everyone who had questions for us, and Ryan, it's so awesome to have you here. Last night when I was reflecting, getting ready for my day, I'm like, I'm so excited to have Ryan on. I'm going to learn so much, and I was right. Gratitude. I appreciate everything you did. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going to share with our agents, and thank you for being on. Any last parting words you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to my friend Long, wonderful guy. He's an awesome leader here in the Twin Cities market, super well respected, and just an all-around class act. So I'm really appreciative for Long inviting me on. I think, again, as we kind of leave with this, just remember that this job can be hard. It can be hard, but it is work. And if you can know your why, bring meaning to your work, more than ever, people need you. People need us as top agents and brokers in our market. And don't let the noise about all the negative and interest rates and scare worry you. Because again, by working hard, staying positive, bring energy like this guy does, good things are going to happen. I've seen it in lots of different markets. So grateful for you, man. Cheers to that. I'm going to get myself one of those today.
Thank you, Ryan. Here's my departing word, and I'm volunteering Ryan because I know the kind of person he is. He and I, if you want, reach out through IM, or call us or email us to ask us. We can help you with your why. I will tell you why it's so important. Once you figure your why out, it's like the North Star. You will be lost in life, personal life, professional life. When you have a North Star, that's your why, you can recalibrate to go back to there. But most people confuse their why with reasons. I want to provide for my kid. I want to have a good life. I want to have a nice house. I want to have a nice, that's reasons. Those are reasons. Why is so deep inside that I bet you 90% of people don't know about their why. But once you know your why, you actually will grow exponentially. So I'm going to volunteer myself and Ryan and Mike as well. I don't know, you might have to talk to Eric. Reach out and said, hey, I saw your episode and asked us anything. Can I schedule a Zoom or phone call with you, a meeting person? I really need help finding my why. Are you okay for me to volunteer you do that with me?
I would love to. Again, people that know me know I'm super broker friendly, have friends at all the different brokerages and teams in town. However I can help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy, be honored to do so.
Well, this is not a question, but a last comment from our audience. Thank you for doing this. You are both class act. Thank you, Sean.
Sean, thank you. Thank you so much. You're too kind.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everybody.